Here's an interesting question. How do you get world's first in Destiny raids? Is there a science to it? Can you truly break down what needs done to significantly increase your chances of getting world's first? The answer? Yes. Yes, you can. Hey everyone, what's up? 𝑾𝑶𝑹𝑳𝑫 here on Scrimma Games, and welcome to Gamers Reality. I guess you could say this is a game thesis or game theory episode. If you're watching this video, it's because you're interested or at least curious on how to get world's first, or wanting to at least be close to getting world's first, or you just want to understand Destiny raids better so you can do them better yourself. After watching this video, you'll never think of Destiny raids the same way again, and you'll have a new perspective that will help you more quickly solve any new raid you're completing for the first time. Even old raids you'll see differently and think are easier after this. Destiny raids have a clear-cut formula to them, and to understand them, you need to understand all the elements that make up a Destiny raid. Bungie is the puzzle maker, and to truly understand the puzzle, you need to understand how they're made. There's no better way to understand these Destiny raids than identifying and creating terminology for them, which reveals all the elements that make up the raid. I'm going to go through some important terminology, and many of these terms will be new to you. Some of them you'll know, but you'll see them in a different way after this. Some viewers may not see the true value in this video, but others will see the true genius in this video. Terminology. Raids. A long series of puzzles that up to 6 players must solve together to earn rewards. The puzzles are a series of causes and effects. There are effective ways to going about creating these causes and effects, and ineffective ways of creating these causes and effects. The best example of this is the Last Wish raid. Power level. Hard mode if low power level, and easy mode with high power level. From experience, you know doing a raid above the max power level is very different than doing the raid 40 light levels below the recommended power level. Players having a higher power level gives more room for failed attempts at puzzle and reduces time to solve the puzzle. Players having a low power level, less room for failed attempts at puzzle and increases time to solve the puzzle. Armor and weapons. Offers more opportunities and creative ways to solve the puzzle. Certain weapons and armor pieces are more ideal or effective for certain puzzle scenarios. So there are multiple ways to go about solving the puzzle through the armor, weapons, and abilities, but only one correct way to do the cause and effect sequences that solves the actual puzzle. To use one example, at Riven, players typically use Whisper of the Worm, but players found all kinds of different weapons to one-phase Riven through Rat King, cluster rockets, Synthoceps with swords, and much more. Cheesing. Brute forcing the puzzle, a way of skipping puzzle mechanics or finding a way around puzzle mechanics. Completing the Riven boss puzzle in one phase with cluster rockets is an example of cheesing it, because it avoids the mechanics that the developers intended players to go through. Final stand, boss at 0 HP surprise. Further mechanics after the boss's health reaches 0 that players do not expect. When players chasing world's first got Riven's health to 0, they thought it was over. They were celebrating, and even Clan Redeem were ready to go to orbit if it weren't for a player telling them to find the chest. They went inside Riven and were able to kill the heart before a debuff killed them.
Oh my! Wait! Let's go! I love all of you. Oh my! Chest. Wait, that's chest. Look for the chest. Look for the chest. We're not done.
Get to the chest and go to fucking orbit. I'm fire team leader. Where is it?
Where's through him. In him. In his body.
Oh my lord.
I can't believe it.
We're
not done.
I can't believe
I love all of you.
Okay,
I want to say real quick, guys.
Shoot it.
Oh, it's not done. It's not done.
Which for? Damage.
Oh my god.
Damage.
Oh my god. We got it. The key.
Where's the loot?
I got a ball.
There's more.
Enraged indicates boss will use unavoidable wipe mechanics soon, usually as a result of players taking too long to solve the boss puzzle. For example, in Crota's End, in red lettering, it will announce he's enraged, and he will start to spam his oversoul, which will wipe the fire team. Boss wipe mechanic, a move that bosses use to wipe or kill the entire fire team, where the only way to avoid it is to kill the boss in time, do enough damage to stun the boss, or to hide in a safe area, etc. During Cowley and Last Wish, players must repeatedly hide in safe rooms they created by standing on the correct plates to avoid a wipe. Stun or stagger, when players do enough damage to the boss to move on to the next phase or to avoid the boss wiping them. Loot or reward, an item given to players after killing the boss or opening a chest, indicates that the puzzle has been solved, and when the puzzle is solved, the player is justly rewarded. Yes, RNG is still typically involved, but if you save 5 keys in the Last Wish raid, you have a better chance of getting 1,000 voices if you don't have it yet.
You guys had it.
The supremacy is really good. For PvE, not so much, but for PvP, it's a monster.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go do some fucking Iron Banner or something. Later.
Thanks for the run.
Hey, thanks for the run.
Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate y'all.
This guy's been saving them up.
Yes! Fuck yeah, thank God. Oh man.
You got it, Gnomes?
I got it, and it's sent to the fucking postmaster. Oh, thank you.
Oh, that sucks. Good shit though.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you saved up 5?
Yeah, I saved 5, and it was the last fucking one, too. This very back chest. Hallelujah. I love using that gun, especially in Gambit. Distractions. Enemies that are unrelated or irrelevant to the solving of the puzzle. Most enemies are meant to only distract or impede the player from solving the puzzle. In the Leviathan raid in the Castellum, when you're opening doors, you don't necessarily have to kill all the Cabal, though if you don't, you'll be hurting soon and probably die if you don't. The ones who steal the relic from the plate wouldn't be considered a distraction because those are a must-to-kill to solve the puzzle, but killing a regular red bar Cabal isn't necessary to solve it. Plates, a puzzle mechanic that is in every Destiny raid, where players or a player must stand on a circular plate that is crucial to solving the puzzle. Usually stepping on a plate has an immediate effect in the puzzle room. I could give way too many examples here, and if you played any bit of Destiny, you probably have your own example, but to use merely one example, when tossing the artifact ball around in the beginning of the Spire of Stars raid, players have to stand on a plate to charge the ball before throwing it to the next player. Different puzzle types. Boss puzzle, navigation puzzle or jump puzzle, plate puzzle, enemy puzzle, artifact item puzzle, symbol puzzle, buff and debuff puzzle. Different ways of perceiving the various puzzles in the raid and determining which type of puzzle needs solved at that moment in time. Debuff, a negative effect on the player that the player needs to get rid of, typically through a cleanse or transfer. When some debuffs get to a certain stack or multiplier, it usually results in death. Sometimes a debuff acts as a double-edged sword and also gives a buff. During the Morgeth Last Wish encounter, getting the Taken Strength times 3 results in death, and a player without any Taken Strength can cleanse a trapped player and that debuff is transferred over. If all players get the times 2, they can damage the boss. Cleanse, a method that allows the player to get rid of a harmful debuff. Sometimes other players have to cleanse another player through an artifact. Using the same example of the Morgeth encounter, players have to grab an Eye of Riven artifact to cleanse the trapped player. Buff, a beneficial effect for the players, which can result in many effects, common ones including more damage or allowing players to damage the boss. An easy example is the Callous Leviathan encounter, where each Force of Will buff enables the fire team to deal more damage for each stack they have. Artifact, Item, Object, a puzzle mechanic that is in every Destiny raid where players or a player must grab and hold the artifact and is crucial to solving the puzzle. Artifacts come in many forms, but commonly manifest themselves as orbs or balls. Artifacts typically involve taking it from point A to point B, where point A is grabbing it and point B can even be using it on a boss. One artifact example is at Riven's Heart, where players must take turns carrying it from point A to point B. Ascendant Realm, teleportation, different worlds, dimensions, or separate rooms. A common mechanic in Destiny raids where players are in separate realms or need to shift or are forced to shift from one reality to another. In some cases, players are just teleported to a separate room or environment, and players must quickly adapt to the new mechanic and setting. The separated players typically need to communicate from their realm to players in the other realm to solve the puzzle, as the puzzle is split into half or pieces based on the number of realms. One example of players being in separate rooms is the Gauntlet in the Leviathan raid, where a player grabs the orb and is teleported into a separate room that other players still can see. Examples of players being teleported into different realms is the Heart section of the Last Wish raid, where players are teleported one by one, and players must communicate with each other to extend the time for the Heart holder. In the Leviathan, players are teleported to an ascendant realm with a big callus head, and 3 players choose to use the only 3 teleporters, leaving behind 3 players to communicate symbols to the other players. Symbols, different image representations that are common in Destiny 2 raids, where players must establish the language for communicating the symbols so they can easily be communicated with the raid group to solve the puzzle. Examples include the Last Wish raid at Vault, where 3 players step on plates to reveal symbols and must communicate which side their symbol is on to determine if they have a penumbra lock or entumbra lock. For those chasing worlds first, it took teams at least about 8 hours to understand this mechanic. Safe rooms or safe areas. Areas where players must hide to avoid instant death. Obvious examples include 𝑾𝑶𝑹𝑳𝑫 at Last Wish, where players must hide in the safe rooms they created before they shut, or 𝑭𝰰𝑹𝑺𝑚, where players run into a room during 𝑭𝰰𝑉A overload and shut the energy door to avoid a wipe. A subtle example is Eater of Worlds, where players hide behind a metal wall in the engine room, where it will light up with arc energy when the pistons pulse forward. Trap. When a boss traps or imprisons a player from doing anything, and another player must help out that trapped player. If the other player does not help the trapped player within enough time, that player will die. One example is at Morgeth, when players with the ×2 stack of Taken Strength can randomly become trapped by the boss. Another example is the Eater of Worlds raid, where the raid boss, Argos, can fire a prism that traps players and the other players must shoot it to allow the trapped player to escape. Textual cues. Text in the bottom left corner that indicates something happening that players should understand. An example, 𝑾𝑶𝑹𝑳𝑫 at the Last Wish raid. It will eventually show 𝑾𝑶𝑹𝑳𝑫 readies her weapon, which means players should get ready to hide in safe rooms. Or at the Heart of Riven, where the text will either show the heart beats faster or the heart beats slower, based on unsuccessfully or successfully grabbing all the Taken Strength orbs to extend the time for the player holding Riven's heart. Visual cues, simple visual prompts that indicate something important that's related to solving the puzzle or in helping figuring out what to do. An obvious one in the Dark Below and 𝑾𝑶𝑹𝑳𝑠 is the Oversoul, which players must shoot and destroy to avoid a wipe. More subtle ones include stagnant symbols in the Last Wish raid or Riven's eyes lighting up, indicating which ones should be shot. Audio cues, simple audio prompts that indicate something important that's related to solving the puzzle or in helping figuring out what to do. Obvious ones include the third phase of Vault, where epic music plays indicating it's the final round, or in the Vault of Glass, where oracles make a noise when they spawn, indicating how many there are for players to find and shoot. Team separation. Players start the raid together in a group of 6, and the raid will repeatedly make the team split apart, commonly in 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 2, or 6 group of 1s. An example of 6 group of 1s is plates for 𝑾𝑶𝑹𝑳𝑫 and Last Wish. 2 groups of 3 is a jump puzzle plate challenge at the start of Eater of Worlds. This is the start of Vault, where there are 2 players on each side of 3 different rooms, where one player stands on a plate to look at symbols and another deals with adds and knights. And lastly, Worlds First, a title given to the fire team that completes the raid before everyone else. Other titles include Worlds Second and Worlds Third for each subsequent completion. Fire teams are in orbit the moment the raid comes out and launches the activity and race to complete it before the other for personal glory. It's also a great spectacle for viewers to watch. I'll be streaming our Worlds First chase on YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch. I am ready for Friday. Anything I missed or any terminology you would create for Destiny raids? I also have a whole analysis on all the raids, Vault of Glass, as you can see here, Crota's End, King's Fall, Wrath of the Machine, the Leviathan raid, Leviathan Eater of Worlds, Leviathan Spire of Stars, and the Last Wish raid, and, not yet, but Scourge of the Past. I don't have enough time to go in super detail here as I would like. I do work and I am going to have to grind to get my power level up, and it's not like I'm a super big channel, so I don't have time to make this video as detailed as I like. So Scourge of the Past, what do we know about it? Just from previous raids, we know it will have elements of those raids. It will have plates, for sure. It will have buffs and debuffs, for sure. There will be a timer and an enrage mechanic, for sure. There will be an artifact or item you have to use. There will be a navigation puzzle and jumping puzzle. There will be a team separation for sure. There's a good possibility of there being symbols and having a teleportation or another realm mechanic. It's going to have textual cues, visual cues, and audio cues. So to prepare for the raid or any future raids for World's First, you're making sure you have completed bounties done and have them ready to turn in after the weekly reset, giving you instant powerful gear, such as for the Dreaming City, accepting Spider's 1 powerful bounty for next week, and getting closer to Ikora's 20 bounty limit. Even saving an exotic bounty quest would be good if possible. For instance, I have Malfeasance, who will have 100,000 Glimmer, as many legendary shards and enhancement cores as possible. Any type of infusion resources, you'll make sure you have as much as possible. You will not infuse guns or armor until Thursday night or the night before the raid, prioritizing raid guns like Sleeper, Whisper of the Worm, Ikealia's Shotgun, Thunderlord, your favorite primary, etc. We'll make sure your favorite exotic armor piece like Synthoceps for the Titan, if the damage bug where Titans can do insane damage while in a Well of Radiance is still active, Luna's for the Warlock, etc., gets priority for infusion. You've made sure you grinded for every single powerful gear drop as much as possible, and when there's none left, you even grinded for prime engram drops. You made sure you have an instant summon Sparrow in case you need to use them. You're making sure you took a good 1 or 2 days off of work, 1 day off for the raid if needed, then 1 day off before the raid. You're making sure you get good sleep. You make sure you spoke to your raid team the night before and ideally did a practice raid run for powerful gear in just to get in sync. You have fresh AA batteries for your controller and extras. You have drinks and snacks with you. You've done at least 1 push-up to get pumped up. You use the restroom beforehand. If you're streaming, you have all that prepared and you're ready to hit stream 1 hour in advance. You've eaten and showered and you're dressed and ready to go. You eliminate any type of outside distractions. You've watched previous World First runs to get yourself pumped and in the mindset. It's just you, your raid team, and aiming for World's First. If not, then at least for the world's top 10. I've probably missed something, but you can't get everything and can only be so prepared. I'm super excited for the Scourge of the Past raid. For some reason, I just have a good feeling about it, and I know this is going to be a great and fun raid. It's going to be the last new one for a decently long while, so I'm going to have a good experience and really enjoy it with my raid team. Come on, Soulless Ignition, we're going for World's First, if not close to it. We have what it takes. We have the experience, we have the knowledge, we have the armor and weapons and gear in preparation, we have the statistical odds in our favor, and we have the team. Let's make some history here. Let's be serious about it, but also let's have fun. So to answer the question, how do you get World's First? It's simple. You figure it out before the other team. If you figure out the puzzle faster, you win. That's where understanding the raid elements and terminology and knowing examples that go along with them helps out when tackling brand new raids. Having good experience and skill in Destiny helps as well. Clan Redeem, for example, are above average players. They have a good team and good synergy. They are gritty, ambitious, and don't give up, to use an example. Players like Dado use logic, like I did in this video, to figure things out and tackles the raid in an intellectual way. Keep in mind, these players are regular people just like you and me. They get tired, frustrated, hungry, and everything else as well.
We didn't get it.
We didn't get it.
Confused why
did you die?
Why'd I die? I fucking shot 5 things.
What?
I'm just confused why he went freaked out like he died.
Because you guys did it, but the shared fate pulled you back.
I don't know if I can do this again after that.
Is there like still fucking more after that? Is there really fucking more after fucking running through the Ascendant Realm and bursting his down from 10% health? There's more shit after that?
There is, but we didn't get that encounter.
Listen. Literally,
I'm gonna kill myself!
The next part was go into his mouth and we get the checkpoint. That was literally it.
Yeah, we died to the shared fate.
Yeah, we died to shared fate. Frog it off, keep moving.
The common denominator, they're all above average Destiny players. This was a really exciting video to make. I love Destiny, and understanding how its raids work made me love it even more. I did all the raids in Destiny 1 and was pretty good with them, and I was younger then. In Destiny 2, I didn't become a raider again until Last Wish. I enjoyed the Leviathan, but didn't have that raid mindset that I do now. I didn't care for Spire of Stars or Eater of Worlds because the Osiris and Warmind DLCs didn't excite me. With Forsaken, I was excited. I had a team carry me through some of the Last Wish raid because I didn't know what to do and they were rushing. Then an awesome clan named Soulless Ignition with awesome people in it taught me how to do the raid and other raids. We all had to learn how to do the raids at one point. Now, I love the raids and am an expert on them, and I'm the one teaching others how to do the raids and how they work. I'm excited and can't wait to put all this into action in the new Scourge of the Past raid, and to go after my first World's First. Then I can make more videos and help lead the Destiny community through this new raid too. I know this video will give you a much better chance at getting World's First if you so choose. I know it did for me. Thank you all for watching. I put a lot of work into making this video, so if you can take a second to give that video a like if you enjoyed it, or if it helps you out, I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below and let me know what you think. What's one mechanic you think of differently now? What's your opinion on Destiny raids? What's your favorite and why? If you haven't yet, smash that subscribe button so you can catch future videos just like this. Like I said, I will be streaming my World's First attempt on YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch. The account names are in the description box below, or you can just search Scrimma Games. Hit that bell icon to be part of the notification squad if you're not yet, and share the video so other players can check it out. Help them give them a better chance at getting World's First, because we do need a bit more diversity in the World's First, Second, Third, Fourth poll. You can check out the links below, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, you can check out our channel's website, gamers-reality.com, and sign up for the free newsletter. I'm going to have most of this script for the raid terminology and my raid analysis on the website. And we also have a podcast called the Gamers Reality Podcast on Spotify and iTunes, where we talk about gaming. Alright, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!